Welcome back to another episode of Turn on the Game, the podcast 2022, baby. We're live here at Blacken Studios. I am your moderator for this evening, Uncle Buck. It's the second day of January of 2022, episode 219. Quitting is not an option. The Regina Tisdale interview. This episode is brought to you by the House of Outli3r and Blacken Studio. So tonight, the fellas interview mother. Was it philanthropist? I can't pronounce. Philanthropist. Wow. And author, Miss Regina Tisdale, wife of late great Oklahoman Wayman Tisdale. Today we have 3 of your 4 hosts. I think Phil is going to try to join us later on. We have Frogg, Coach J, Chris J, and Coach Junior. It's been a while, fellas. It's been a while. Let's make this quick. How you guys' New Year's was? Coach, start us off.
Man, I ain't seen you since last year.
Seriously?
Good to see y'all, man. Everything is great. New Year was great. So
we haven't seen each other since Christmas, have we? Did we do a Christmas before Christmas show?
I think Christmas was the last show.
Did we do Christmas? The last show was Christmas, and then we fell into the New Year. Oh yeah, that's
Christmas.
right. Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, where my gifts at?
They're in the car. Yeah. No, but since I guess he's gonna pass the torch, man. My New Year's was great so far. Everything's good. Been off for a couple of days. Didn't have to go into the office, which was always good. Get that R&R. Me and the wife, we didn't do anything New Year's. We kind of just, it was our anniversary, 5th anniversary at that. I've been married 5 years.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary, Tracy and Chris.
For sure. So we didn't want to get out into the elements. We never really do, especially during those times. New Year's get kind of crazy. I guess we picked the wrong day to get married. But anyway, we had a good time, man. We hung out at the house, watched some television, had dinner, and just kind of hung out a little bit. But besides that, man, New Year so far, so good. Just ready to kick off this new year, doing bigger and better things as far as the show.
I love it.
And, just moving forward with everything.
All right, look at that. We got some happy anniversaries in chat for you.
Speaking of the New Year's, let's kick it off with a toast.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Buck, you going to come in here?
Yes.
Just for a second?
You can
leave
the engineering table.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year, folks.
2022.
Yes, sir. 2022 may be bigger than
brighter future.
Absolutely.
Oh, we ready?
All right.
Man, that's some good stuff. What is that exactly again?
That's some really refreshing apple juice, man.
It is
like it's sweet,
sparkling cider. Okay.
Sparkling too. Oh, that's what it is.
Non-alcoholic. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he had
jam.
He had to show that.
Yeah.
no alcohol.
That's my jam right there. Then I'm gonna have to pick me up a bottle. Where you get that at?
Walmart.
Okay, all day.
And Chris, Frogg, how was your New Year's?
1866.
New.
Just new.
It was cool, man. We don't do much, man. We just hang around the house, man. We watch the shows, the countdown shows, or whatever, and my wife, she tries to, hey, let's bring it in with New York, so she can go to sleep. No, that ain't real.
She want to bring it on the East Coast,
We ain't there.
She want to bring it that hour early.
We're going to wait another hour.
Can we knock this out?
So it's cool, man. We toasted, everything. Got our black eyed peas on the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Was that today? Yesterday?
Yesterday.
So our grains and everything.
My sisters tried to get it. Mama always said at least eat a spoonful.
Yeah.
At least one bite.
I can't stand it.
Still couldn't do it.
I didn't eat mine either, so apparently,
Yeah.
man.
All right.
I hope that's not true then, because it's gonna be another long year.
Get y'all some black eyed peas.
But now we good though, man. Appreciate the well wishes, everybody.
You bring in the New Year?
I got to chill out at home, and these past 2 weeks we've been remodeling the living room actually. So that's been the biggest project. Period.
You talking like
how's it coming?
New furniture or just
new ceiling, new walls, new paint. We're keeping the same flooring, adding a couple of cool things. Like our living room never had any like actual lights. They just had lamps in the corner and whatnot that we just hooked up to a switch on the wall.
Oh, okay.
So we're installing new lights, ceiling fan, It's going to look completely different. I'm excited.
Very nice.
So you doing a lot of that, Buck?
I'm doing all of it.
All of it.
You know,
Okay.
Buck's man of many talents.
Thank you.
He's a
Chris.
renaissance man.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
does it all. You know.
Thank you, guys.
DIY.
Yes, sir.
DIY Buck.
Hardcore. Through some baseboards,
Hey, put
crown
that back up
molding,
there
the
real
whole 9 yards.
So we want to shout out everybody that joined us in the new year. We got Susie Carmichael, Lamar Collins.
In the building.
We got Aunt Laurie, cousin Sharita.
Yes.
So happy New Year to everybody that's joining in on the show. Got a special treat for y'all here in a few minutes.
Yes, sir. And I think that she's ready. So you want to take the
Buck,
first
can I
break?
get that link?
Let's take the first
you
break
take the
and
first
then
break and come back and bring her
we got
in.
a special guest in.
Turn on.
Turn on.
Looking for your voice to be heard? Have a passion and want to share it with those of a common mindset? Have a business or a brand that needs to get the word out but don't know where to advertise? Contact Blacken Studios, a full-spectrum, cutting-edge podcast studio that services clients from all over the country. Blacken Studios offers you more than just a podcast. We offer you an experience. In-house production from audio-video recording, editing, marketing, advertisement, and exposure with over thousands of people listening weekly. Blacken Studios doesn't hesitate to back local businesses. So when you want your voice heard, Blacken Studios has your back. Search Blacken Studios on all social platforms. Email at podcast@blackenstudios.com or visit us at blackenstudios.com. And remember, it's Blacken.
We're not doing the game scores today because we got a special guest. Hey, Frogg, if you could you read that introduction you have real quick before I bring her in? That you had on the show notes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tonight we will interview a very special guest. She's a mother, philanthropist, author, the wife of the late great Oklahoman Wayman Tisdale. We have with us joining today is Regina Tisdale.
And we are bringing her in right now. We're connecting her audio source. We see a visual of her.
All right.
Hello. Can you hear us?
Her audio is still
Our
connected.
audio's still connected. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, there we go.
Hello, Mrs. Tisdale. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for blessing our show with your presence today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's a great honor. It truly is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Likewise.
So happy New Year to you.
Same to you. Okay. I think I won't have to read anything, so I could take these off, right?
Okay.
Look, really can't see you real well, but I don't have to read anything, so okay.
Right.
Good deal.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year to you. If you can give our listeners just a little bit of your background. I know you're from Oklahoma, from the Tulsa
I am.
area.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Tulsa, went to, did the public education route here in Tulsa. Went to, when I went, it was Central State University. Now it's
UCO.
UCO.
Yeah, University of Central Oklahoma now. Yeah. But but didn't finish there. Wayman and I, of course, he went into the NBA. We left, had my 4 children, came back, retired, and I actually finished my degree at the Langston in Tulsa.
Oh,
So,
very good.
yeah.
Great to
Very
see
good.
you.
Very good.
Yeah, sociology major.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Wayman Tisdale Foundation and
Yes.
the works that they do?
Yeah, we've been up since, actually, Wayman was a part of us choosing the board members because when we went through the process of him dealing with cancer and then realizing the cost of the prosthetic device, Wayman decided to revamp what we were doing. So we, wrote into our bylaws all over and decided, what, there's so many people that need this and they want to get up and move around. But it's very, very expensive because at one point we were having a meeting with Scott Sablish over in Oklahoma City. And the insurance person came in and they said, did you realize that you guys only had $50,000 in case of a amputation? And I said, well, first, nobody ever, who reads the fine print? But more than that, who thinks you're going to be in a position or a situation where, you may lose a limb? You don't think about that.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
right.
right. So at that point, Wayman and I, actually, it was all him. He said, "Hey, babe, you know what? I want to change what I'm doing," because after talking to Scott, we realized, Wayman asked him how many people did he turn away, and he said more than I would like to. So we flipped it, and so now what we do at the Wayman Tisdale Foundation is we provide prosthetic devices for underinsured or non-insured, and primarily they've been in Oklahoma, but Oklahomans. So he's been gone 12 years, and after what we finally were able to get back to after COVID, we've had 14 recipients.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a good deal, for sure.
We definitely thank you for all that you do for those in need when it comes to the prosthetics. I can imagine.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I need to see. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, you know what? I want to look at these men, their faces. I can't see.
She's like, I don't know which one's talking right now. It just feels weird.
Well, it's for me. It don't seem like 12 years.
Right.
That
Absolutely.
Wayman's been gone, but I remember playing ball at Capitol Hill High School.
Okay.
And I called myself trying to model my game to Wayman's, at the University of Oklahoma. And
Right.
so he's been a big role model, if you know it a lot, for so many different people in so many different ways,
Right.
whether it be his music or his athleticism,
Right.
and when you look at him, he always had a smile on his face.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I just wanted to share that part with you.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, we lost.
Can you hear us? Hold on real quick.
She's still there.
Yeah, she's still here. That was weird.
Having a little bit of technical difficulties. If you can hear us. You can't hear us? Okay.
Yeah,
We're working on it. Okay. And
we lost audio for 1 second.
bear with us just one moment.
She can't hear us.
Just text her. Tell her.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Hold on real quick, guys. There we go. Can you hear us now?
Got your back.
Sorry
Okay.
about
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay.
I got your back.
So, my name is Buck. I'm actually the producer, so I'm actually not on camera, so you don't have to look around the room.
Whatever joke. I was like, whoa.
I don't see no one talking right now. Just for the listeners to go on, if you don't mind, can you take us back to 2002 at the conference in Tulsa when you guys first met when you were 16?
That wasn't her. They met at church. That was the young man that
Oh, that's right.
that
Sorry.
he took under his wing. He mentored in the music. So you
That
can
was
take us
Michael
back to how when y'all met in church.
Yeah, excuse me.
I was like this whole wait.
Thank you, Frogg.
I said, by 2002, we had 4 children. No, we met in. Is your question when is
You
he
and
asking
Wayman met.
about-
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. So Wayman and I met at his dad's church. We were 16 years old. My baby sister had a neighbor friend, and I don't know about you guys. I'm from a family. My mother has 7 children. And I remember you get so excited, like, 16, I can drive now. Well, and then you realize, I'm a glorified errand boy. So my baby sister wanted to go to church. I take her to church. It happens to be Wayman's dad's church. And I see him because of course I'm 16. I'm 5'3", by the way. I'd never seen anybody 6'7", 6'9", and I wasn't sure how old he was quite yet because the high school that I graduated from, Will Rogers here in Tulsa, we did not play against Booker T. So I lived out east, so I went to a predominantly white school. So I didn't know him, but at any rate, we were kind of doing this little cat and mouse, like he'd look, I'd look, because he was playing the bass, and I grew up in a Methodist church, and so I'd never heard music at church like that before. And it was, and I mean, I grew up in the 70s when, it was all these funk bands. And so, I was really into music. I love music, which paying out for me in the long run. But and at one point, I just remember telling my baby sister, like, hey, you know what? It's Sunday evening. We have to get out of here. We have church. I mean, you have school tomorrow. And he and his brother William was on the drums. He was playing the bass. And he was just, I walked out the back, and I guess I do now know there was a place he can go through the back. And as my sister and I were walking I'm holding my little sister's hand. We're walking to the car. And I hear this, hey, and I turn around and it's him. He's like, hold on for a second, and I stopped, we talked, and literally from that point on, we went to 45 until he passed away.
Wow.
It's a beautiful story. I really enjoy reading your book. I can kind of tell the inspiration behind the book, but was this part of your healing process? I know you talk a lot about it during the book, but was this writing the words down and speaking it out loud helped you, along your way here?
It did. You know what? I always journaled, but then it was like, it was my way of just trying to get through. So if I had a bad day, which was quite a lot of days, so I would write it. And some days I was talking to God, and some days I was talking to Wayman. Something went wrong with the kids, and I'm like, you left me with these kids, and I have to do this, and this by myself. And the reason that they're acting out is because you're gone. The reason why I feel like I'm about to lose it is because you're gone. And it's like you have the fairy tale lifestyle. You marry Prince Charming, and who would have ever thought somebody that was, you have to be healthy it was part of your job.
Right.
And never, cancer is such that you don't get any warning signs. The man didn't smoke, so cancer is just ugly. It is what it is. And so, yes, me writing was something of a, I don't know. It helped me. I mean, sometimes I could write and I could cry. Sometimes I could write 2 sentences and I throw the book. So this is like 12 plus years of just writing. And I can't even remember how many journals I went through. And because literally it was, some days it was, we had a good day today. Okay, well, Tiffany got engaged. Okay, well, so literally it was like I was talking to him, and then sometimes, I was just writing. And yeah, so it really helped during the for me to heal. And then when COVID happened, because I would start, and then I kept wanting to fix it. And so finally, during COVID, where we were stuck, and so I made my decision is like, you know what, we can come out of COVID better or worse, because it was hard. That was hard. It's bad, but it's so much better. But one day I just remember saying, okay, you know what, finish the book, and but it also, I had to sit down, I had to deal with it. So I had to go through the process because I had been avoiding it. I'd been running from it. So literally, if I say that it took me 12 years to for real go through some of the steps of grieving. It took me that long, and it's because I just wouldn't do it. But COVID caused me to have to, we all have to sit down.
Right.
Got to sit down and
Yeah, and evaluate yourself, your life, what's important, what's not. Like, am I going to continue to live like this? Or am I going to do this? Am I going to finish this? Am I going to go through? Go ahead and cry, Regina. Cry, fuss. Well, what? Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and we can definitely sympathize with you. These are my nephews.
Oh, cool.
And,
That's all.
and my dad, their grandfather died of cancer, lung cancer.
Okay, sorry.
And then my oldest sister, their mom, died of cancer. And so it's a lifelong process.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know I still, talk to my sister.
Absolutely.
My daughters call her their angel that protects them.
Yeah, my children do that. Yeah.
And so, and our bond have always been, more like brothers than uncle and nephew.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we've had to grieve together, grieve separately, do our own grieving. And so we definitely understand the process.
Right.
And all we can count on is, God's comfort.
Absolutely.
To help us get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's always going to be, moments that you have,
right.
that's going to continue to keep Wayman relevant.
Absolutely.
And so he's never going to fall off.
Right.
We outside of the home may forget about who Wayman is down the line, but you and his family, his children, they'll never forget, who Wayman is. No matter how long it takes.
Absolutely.
There's no timetable for it. So it was just an appointed time for you to finish this book. Mm-hmm. So COVID didn't have anything to do with it. It was just that season for you to make that happen.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and we can, like I said, and I'm Chris, by the way. We've been communicating quite a bit.
Okay.
We definitely can relate to you in this situation, and I can relate to a lot of your book when you were dealing with certain situations that you were dealing with and how you handled them, as far as the grieving process. So that's something I wanted to share with you also. And there's something that you put in here that I wanted to read that really resonated with me, and it can resonate to a lot of people that may be going through something like this. It states here that I was not made to live in shame or designed to need substance to cope. Substance abuse of any kind is a killer because it distorts who you were created to be. Shame is like the grim reaper who follows closely behind the substance, trying to convince you that you've gone so far down the wrong road that you cannot have a second chance. And everybody can have a second chance, and there's so many people out there that needed to hear that because they don't know that. They don't, they feel like, that's it. Right. And I read that passage right there probably 15 times, because I've been dealing with, I was in the military when all this happened with my mom.
Oh, wow.
And I was overseas in Iraq, and I got the bombshell or whatnot. So finally came home or whatnot, and when she ultimately passed, I went through the ringer. I was still in the military, and man, it was rough. But so I can definitely resonate with you. I love the book. I'm gonna read it again because it's a great read, and I really appreciate you coming through today, talking with us and sharing your stories. And whatever you guys want to, you guys have some more questions you'd like to share?
So I wanted to get into a little bit of what was it like being a NBA wife?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
we see these shows now. They have the basketball wives and all that.
The basketball wives. Yeah. I mean, you got.
And we didn't see you on none of those.
And you would. You know what? In the book, I also talked about the importance of having a village. Mm-hmm. And my NBA girlfriends, there's a group of us that Wayman played for 4 different teams, and the NBA would 200 to 300 something players. We're very, very, very close knit. Now, of course, granted, the kids, I call them the kids because they're 18, 19. They don't stay in college as long as we did. They do one and they're done, right?
Right.
So we were in college, and a lot of our friends, we went either Wayman went 3 years, but we have friends that stayed in the entire time. So the wives are either they were high school sweethearts like Wayman and I, or they met in college. And so not putting anybody down, it's just my thought. We didn't dive into millions and millions of dollars early on, and we had beautiful lives. I also think we were just a different generation with different mind thoughts. Like literally, this is what we did. We had a group of women, and if I was the older wife in a particular city, a rookie came in or somebody that's only been there for a few, I'm telling the new wife where the pediatrician is, where a dentist is, where what doctor I go to, we would network. Our children were each other's. My children had NBA kids. And my kids are in their 30s. They have friends that they still go to birthday trips with, and Coach Woody. His daughter. She's turned 30. We're going for this year for vacation. We're going for but my group of friends, we were just different. So when I remember when that show came on, I was walking through the living room one evening, and my daughter happened to be in there. She said, "Mom, stop and look at this." And I stopped for 1 second. I said, "This is such foolishness. I don't want to offend anybody, but for me, it's foolishness." We would have never. The whole time we never fought, and we are 30 plus years into our friendships. And every summer prior to COVID, and actually when it all picked back up, was the year when Wayman passed, so because we were all raising children. So then finally, okay, our kids are in college now, so we could get together every summer again. Our husbands were retired. But Wayman passed, and after that, one of the girls in the group said, "Hey, we're going to make sure that August 1st, you are not alone," which would have been Wayman and our 20 something anniversary. I can't remember. And so now it would have been 12 years. Every summer we go somewhere, for a 4 or 5 day trip. And so to me, I don't know if it's a director TV driven, or if they're, like purposely pitting them against one another. But I have a group of friends that we grew up just as different. I'm an Oklahoma little country girl. And then I have some girlfriends that Joy is from Chicago. Julie Richmond is from the Bay Area, in Cali. One girlfriend is from a little small town in Florida. But we all married guys that were in the NBA. But you find people that it's like minds, you connect.
Right.
So we get together, we have a blast. Not one time have we ever thrown a glass of wine at each other. Not one time. I remember watching one episode, and a girl went, and I called it flying over the table to get another person. Mm-hmm. And I said, first, Wayman would have been mortified. And then secondly, and I think that's the other part, is I grew up in an era where I'm not going to embarrass my parents. But I'm somebody's wife and mother and daughter. And so I want to imagine that some stuff is sensationalism. It's TV.
Yeah. Me thinking about that makes me think about just listening to you talk about your friendships of 30 years plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's generational. And now this generation, I talk to my daughters, which are in their 20s. I got one that's early 30.
Yeah.
And they talk about how it's almost unrealistic to have long-term friendships with people.
And that's crazy.
And that's the entire generation. And so because I talk about my best friend from kindergarten,
Exactly.
and we're still, at 54 years old, we're still best friends.
Right.
And, they just think that's,
Well, now
fairy tale.
friendships are on social media. Back in the day, you had to play with
Right.
each other at the
Yeah.
house.
You
You
did.
build that bond. Now it's just, if I'm mad at you, I'm gonna block you, and then
Right.
and we ain't gonna talk.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean,
Right.
it's totally different now. I understand how where you're coming from with the long term friendship with your girlfriends. You had two sets of friends. You
Right.
had the NBA wives, and then you had you had the roses and you had the booze.
Yeah. So the booze, and why women we name our groups? Who knows? I don't know. But the booze are my girlfriends at church here. So for years, okay. So after Wayman and I met, I later, probably at 17 years old, I left the Methodist church and went to the Baptist church where his dad was the pastor. And so at Friendship Church here in Tulsa, and the Boos are a group of ladies that are friends from church. So when Wayman retired and I came home, one of my sister-in-laws were already, they would celebrate each other's birthdays, and then it went from that to, hey, we're going. Then we started going on trips. So everybody's birthday was celebrated. Then, for a matter of fact, we were together finally at Christmas. I hosted here at the house, and we sat down and put on our calendar, we're going back to New York, because one of the girlfriends in the group that we've lost one of the Boos, and to cancer, and she was from New York. So she took us to New York and we had a blast. And it just so happened that when we went to New York, Wayman had only been gone he may pass May 15th. And we had already had it on the calendar. So it just so happened that June 9th, which would have been his birthday, which was 3 or 4 weeks later, I was in New York with this group of girls, and Wayman had only been gone 3 or 4 weeks. And it was already on the calendar. And my children like, Mom, go, So I went. So these girls have been, again, it's that village. And you guys now listening to you and what you all have gone through, the importance of having some real solid people around you. And I'll be honest, you really get to see what people are made of, and people that you call friends, because there are 1 or 2 people that I've been friends with for years that we don't even talk anymore.
Right.
Because you really get to see what people are made of.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I mean, and for you, Chris, I can't imagine being that far away. And I mean, and I know you got to come home, but I know, at least in my mind, I'm imagining with the military, you have to come, but you have to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're left to like, okay, now I'm going back, but your head isn't in that, because I remember having someone say to me, well, Regina, you knew Wayman was sick. And I was like, oh, and that means what?
Right. Yeah. They're just
I'm just cool because I knew he was sick. Like, baby, that's not the way that grief works.
Right.
Right. Grief doesn't work that way. So, and I don't know, and it could have been good for you. I don't know. I remember when I was busy, which means I was ignoring it. It was cool, but because I did it so long, that's also the reason why I got into some not so good behavior.
Right.
Because I was trying to, I mean, I literally a time or two just told myself that he was on the road, until one day I remember just hit me. I said, wait a minute, why hadn't Wayman called me? Because we had this routine, and from music to the NBA, but in the NBA, hey babe, I'm at the airport, cool. I'm gonna call you when I get through security. Okay, cool. Okay, we're getting on the plane. I had to shut the phone off. Okay, cool. Then as soon as he landed, he called me. Okay, now I'm at the hotel room. Okay, cool. Okay, I have shoot around and such. So call me and wake me up. I was like, wait a minute, I had these kids at home. Call the downstairs. They'll wake you up. No, I want you to wake me up. So because of all of that communication, and then when that person is gone, and then you're lost. I mean, it's like, okay, so what do I do with myself now?
Right.
And so, so I can't imagine if you had to go back that far. Um, so hopefully, if the military is a family like I understand it is, hopefully you got everything that you needed from them. But nothing beats family, y'all.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, I made that trip several times. Going back and forth. But I had some good support system in the service when I was in my unit. They looked out for me, and then my family here, of course, was always there. So yeah, I like you said, it's a struggle, and I went through a lot. They probably don't even know some of the stuff that I went through.
Right,
But
right.
but
You know what? One of my daughters, my second daughter, she's 33. She said, "Mom, I didn't know Daddy this, that, and the other," or "Mom, I didn't know." So I finally said, "Tiffany, quit calling me after you read 2 or 3 pages." I said, "Read the book." I said, "Read it." And for a matter of fact, she had the manuscript. I said, "Read it and then call me. Why didn't you tell me this?" I said, "Baby, you were at OU in college. You would try." I said, "What? I mean, what was I going to tell you? Literally gory details, or that almost every time you go back to the doctor is you're hoping and hoping and praying and praying and praying for a good report, and then it's like, well, you don't have to do this again. We
Right.
we got to do chemo again.
yeah,
Okay, oh, now I have to do radiation." So I was like, you were in college, your brother was in high school, and then I had one in middle school. I said, you know what, guys, I didn't tell you everything because I'm still your mother and your parent. So as parents, that's what we do. We try to protect our children,
right.
Yeah.
and I wanted her to be able to concentrate on college. And
And Brandon,
Brandon. Come on, man.
the son-in-law now.
Seriously.
And can I tell you something? I tell you, I love that young man to pieces. And I tell people, I said, there is nothing like loving, because we have 3 daughters and a son. When you pass your daughter off to somebody, you want to know that that's a solid dude, right?
Yeah.
So Wayman did a 25 almost day stint in Mercy in Oklahoma City. And so Tiff would come up every day after class with my granddaughter Bailey. So Brandon would come up some too, when he didn't have to do foot. I mean, if for some reason Stoops, they had a day off or whatever. So we were all sitting in the room one day, and Bailey did something, and Brandon was saying, "Okay, baby, listen, don't do blah blah." But he just scolded her, and I remember when they left, Wayman looked, and I should have listened to it, because he said, "Baby, they're gonna be okay." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You see, he reprimanded her." He said, "But then he loved her. He gave her a hug, and Daddy loves you." And she was 2, just 2, And he said, "But he told her what was wrong, but then at the end, love."
Yeah.
Right.
So he said, "I feel good. I know they're going to be okay." And I'm sure you guys know this. You hear so much after the fact. I mean, like your family members said things, but you just didn't hear it until after they were gone. And so, honestly, that conversation with Brandon, I get a lot of laughs about it, just like you guys did. And but that was just Wayman being a father.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what, hey, this is what you've done, and so this is what we're gonna do. So you gonna take care of this baby, and yeah. But if you don't, I have her. I remember those was his exact words. He said, "I have her." He said, "But I trust that you're gonna do it."
Right.
And Marcel, that girl is, you guys won't believe her. She is 14, a freshman, because she was 2 in Wayman Pass, a freshman at Booker T, and 6'3".
Wow.
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 Carrying on.
She played
name?
basketball.
Absolutely.
Who she played summer ball for?
You know what? Let me tell you, this past summer, oh God, I mean, the end of her 8th, school was so messed up with COVID. So he finally go back to school. She's finding a rhythm. She killed, we're so excited. And a girl stepped on her foot and she turned it, and broke the bone in her foot. And so she had to miss. She missed AAU. She missed half the rest of the season, and her little feelings were so hurt. And so this past summer, nobody. But it's funny because I get so many people walking up to me like, "Hey, you're the Tisdale kid is your baby." I said, "That baby's name is Braxton." I said, "But yes, she's mine." No, that's Wayman's granddaughter, right? Can she? And I look, and I'll do like this. Here's my son-in-law's phone number. Call him. we had we had a team trying to get her to come and try out in Arkansas. And you know what, I was like, you know what, I'm not committing to driving to Arkansas. But I did tell her, I said, you know what, your granddad, I said, when we were in high school, I said, he played in Oklahoma City for the Rams, I think.
Yes.
If my old bud can remember, he had the Rams.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that used to have a chicken?
It's Coach Jackson, wasn't it?
You talking about
Jackson, Mr. Williams.
Oh, Bobo.
Yeah,
Bobo.
Johnny Williams.
Yeah,
Johnny Williams.
Johnny
Williams.
Johnny
Yeah.
Williams. Boy, look, shoot, 58. I had to think. Yeah, but yeah, that was his coach. And and I guess, and because I try to think about it now, it's like, do we not really have AAU teams here in Tulsa? But I know his dad would drive him to Oklahoma City, and that's what Wayman paid for.
And back then, it was the Rams or the Bucks.
Okay.
It was probably 3 teams, and if you didn't play on those teams, you just played at the park.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just remember that he played, and I remember being in the Rams, and sometimes Chu Kenny and I will talk about it sometimes, because I think when my children started playing, I think Chu was coaching, and I don't know if he still does. What is Chu's real name? Daryl Kennedy. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow,
That's awesome.
6'3".
It's 6'3".
14.
14.
Yeah, you talking to Coach over here. He
I
actually coaches for real.
Yeah, he
really asking on the fly, like, hey, can she play for me?
Can you pass me that number?
I do showcase basketball. I'm an athletic director here in Oklahoma City for Oklahoma City Public Schools. And,
Very cool. Good.
Yeah,
Good. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So I deal with kids every day, all day long.
Oh,
So
they didn't read, bro.
Yeah. And then I have my first one that's predicted to go in the top 10 in the WNBA draft this year.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So,
You know what? A lot of people, what I found, because my oldest daughter played too, a lot of people, coaches, they prefer the boys over the girls, but I still like watching girls because I still feel like girls play like fundamental basketball. And I remember Wayman fussing when all that N1 stuff started. He's like, N1 is killing basketball. He said he would get so frustrated. It's like, man, if y'all don't send that ball around that horn without, because that's what AAU, not AAU, I'm sorry. N1 was, AI. That's what it was,
and now it's James Harden. Everybody's wanting to do that traveling step to shoot the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I do girls as well because I had 6 daughters, raised 5, and so I had 2 that played very competitive.
So my dad is, like I said, it's 5 girls, and then we had 3, and I tip my hat to a man with all that estrogen.
Well, I survived it. And the funny thing, listening to you talking about your daughter and Brandon and having a baby, that's my youngest daughter was a high-profile athlete, dated a high-profile football player from Edmond, Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And then ended up with a baby her senior year in high school. Ended up pregnant. And then now at 22, they're married. Beautiful baby. You know,
Yes.
they have two now. So
Huh?
it's the same story that you know
Yeah.
described with
Yeah.
yours. You
Yeah.
know, with mine.
Yeah. So Tiffany and Brandon have three now. So Bailey is 14 and Brandon BB, he's Brandon Wayman, he's 5, and then Boston is 3. So they had a big gap, and then they had those two little fellas. And uh, and it's so funny because she says, Mama, boys are so different. I said, I see. And because I have one Wayman, one son rather, and he's Wayman, but he was so calm. And so my grandsons crack me up because they are boy, they are so rambunctious. They are boys 100%. But Brandon, my son-in-law, again, I love him to pieces. He's an incredible dad. And so he's real involved. You know, it's little jokers. They soccer, they do karate. They know every move on a football field because Brandon is one of the coaches at Booker T now. And it's funny to see those little boys. I mean, and it starts so early. And I think some of it might just be genetic because boy, that little 5-year-old grandson of mine, that's like everything that he puts his little hands to, he kills it,
Yeah.
and he's 5, and I'm not just being like, okay, these are my grandbabies, but this little dude is really something,
Charlie. 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope I answered what you guys wanted, and I appreciate you guys for having me on. If you have more questions,
We
or
definitely appreciate you coming on with us. Sorry for your loss, first and foremost,
and
Wayman,
likewise for you too, you
and
guys, all three of you guys.
your friend from the NBA.
Mhm.
We just appreciate you taking the time out to come and speak with us.
Absolutely.
We wish you nothing but the best with the Wayman Tisdale Foundation, and your book is great.
Thank you.
And
Thank
can you
you.
please tell us where we can find your book and where we can reach out to you social media wise?
Yeah. Um, of course, I have Wayman Tisdale Foundation .org. Then it's for the book for Losing My Power Forward. Right now we're at Amazon. Just type in Losing My Power Forward in Amazon.com or Amazon Books, and you can get it that way. Um, yeah, and I gave you guys what you have for me email wise is personal, and I mean, you know what I say, personal. Everybody has that rtisdale23 at Yahoo. So, and anyway, it's not like it's not a giveaway. Tisdale23,
Right.
So,
Right.
You do have a Twitter as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am on Twitter and on IG. Yes, and look, my children stay on my head like, "Ma, you have to do this. You have to do. You have to put something up all air." It's like, okay. So I'm learning. I'm learning.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. We look forward to possibly having you on again. You write another book, or you just want to come and join the show and talk to us about sports, because we are a sports show.
Cool.
And we'll talk about the local scene here, and we can talk
Yeah.
about the Tulsa scene, and
Right.
hopefully your grandbaby, when she
Yeah.
starts putting up them Wayman Tisdale numbers.
6'3".
Yeah, this is the funny thing, and I'll be done with you guys. They played Sand Springs, and when she got injured, but the previous game she scored 22 points and had, I don't know, I think she had a double, 12 rebounds, whatever. So when I tell you they got my baby out of there quick, I mean quick.
Yeah.
And so she kept saying, she said, Gigi, I said, oh, they won't hurry up to get you out of the game. She said, Gigi, what do you mean? My little baby, I said little baby, she's fear powering over my head. But she didn't realize that they would try to take her out. Meaning, and I said, I'm not saying that they wanted to hurt you, but they wanted you out of the game. And consequently, you were in a booth for 8 weeks. And then, the orthopedic surgeon, he was hoping that it would heal on its own. After 8 weeks in the booth, we go back, and then she had to do the surgery anyway. Yeah. So she missed the whole summer, She missed, half the season. And then when school started in August, she was, I think she was a little afraid, but we just kept talking, and she's good now.
Oh yeah.
Good. Glad
but she was, of course, she was afraid of getting injured again, but yeah. I would love to come back, and I do know a little bit about sports now.
You got to autograph these books.
Absolutely. I would love to. Now, I know a ton about that orange ball. Now that pigskin, I know. Look, I'm the biggest OU fan, and I'm trying to get out my feelings with Lincoln right now still. But I love Venable, so I think we're gonna be all right.
They're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right.
All right, we're gonna be. Look, I'm OU true. Tried and true. If you can't tell, so we're gonna be all right. Yeah. I think we're gonna be all right.
Again, we thank you for your time and blessing our show with your presence. It's been an honor to speak with you.
Absolutely. And what the other gentleman in the back?
Yes, ma'am.
The director.
Yeah.
Director.
You just call me Buck.
Buck.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate all three of you guys because, man, this COVID had me a little sad. I was ready to hit the road as soon as January hit, and I was like, so now we have another.
Another strain.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But if there's anything that you need from us, any promotion or anything like that, just definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll gladly do whatever we can to promote your book and also promote the foundation as well.
Absolutely.
Do any of you guys golf?
I'll get out there.
I get out there too.
Top golf.
Look, I was looking like this off because it was dead silent. I was like,
top golf.
Get out there.
We top golf.
You know what? This is what I told myself. Okay, it's January. I said by August, I'm going to at least be able to putt. But I've been saying that for the last 5 or 6 years. But this year, I'm saying, Regina, man, get out there. We live in Arizona. It was, when Wayman was with the Suns, there was the more golf courses than you could. Mm-hmm. There's no reason I shouldn't have done that, But I'll figure it out.
Definitely. We'll definitely hit a course or two. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And again, you guys have a wonderful new year. Thanks again. And I, between maybe Bill Horn or whomever, some way or another, and I'm in Oklahoma City for various things, but you guys, well, you look like you're in a studio, but
we are.
Yeah, it's a studio.
Okay, cool. So, we can figure out getting those books autographed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and bring your granddaughter. I'm gonna email you my card.
See, I'm thinking. See, you want Bailey, you want.
No, I love helping kids.
And I think that's wonderful. I love because you know what? Because everybody doesn't have what Bailey has, a mother and a father in their lives. So what you do is invaluable, honestly. Coaches are so important in young folks' lives,
Thank
you. Anyway, you guys have a good evening.
Thanks.
And I'm sure you got somebody next coming up. So
thank you.
I appreciate it.
You have a good evening. Happy New Year.
We'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Good deal.
That's a good way to start out 2022.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Let me shout out to Bill Horn, man. Obviously, he made that interview possible for us. Appreciate you, Bill, if you're listening.
Looking out, Bill.
And I'll be in touch with you as well at some point this week. But, yeah, definitely, that was a good interview, guys. Looks like we're going to have to get our golf skills up because I think we may be in a tournament soon.
Foundation got
a tournament.
Okay.
And
Wonder what the
We'll
age
have
limit
to.
is. Caden can represent us.
Right, yeah,
Little
that
man
is
Katie
true.
can
Little Caden, he can golf a little bit.
He gets down.
Definitely.
Okay.
So yeah, Happy New Year, everybody out
Happy New
there.
Year,
Appreciate
Saul.
everybody for chiming in, showing up,
Following
Yeah,
and
on
listening.
Facebook and YouTube world. Thank you.
Yeah.
So-
good looking out.
Yeah, we'll definitely. And we got some more stuff coming up soon. Also,
Soon and
we
very
haven't
soon.
been able to do our BBW yet. That's coming up.
Man, please explain that.
Well,
Please explain that.
blankets, burgers, and water. We're gonna hand out blankets, burgers, and water downtown to some of the homeless community out there. Some of the less fortunate people. We're trying to do big things in the community now. We want to turn a new leaf in 2022 and help others because we are all so fortunate doing what we do, being able to spread the word of sports and positivity to not only Oklahoma City community but to the world. But we're going to try to touch base with the community first here and expand as we get bigger. So if anybody out there want to help us out, feel free to help us out. We love all the people coming to chat with us and help us out. But we're going to definitely pass out some blankets and some burgers and some water downtown. It's getting a little chilly now.
Say that
so
one
it's,
more
it's the
time where we're passing out, just for people can understand where your title came from.
burgers, blankets, and water.
BBW. Burgers, blankets, and water.
And
Water.
I think everybody on the thread that I'm looking at
Oh, yeah.
is willing to help.
For sure. And again, appreciate y'all for chiming in today, man. Let me grab a little more of that apple juice. That's fire. If you don't know about it, you better know about
Oh,
it.
Phil, you missed out on the cheers.
Lovely.
Sparkly.
But we cheersing you right
New
now,
Year's,
fella.
Phil.
Happy New Year, everybody out there.
Godspeed. And this has been another episode of Turn the Game, the podcast. To download this episode, I said download. I ain't said that in a minute.
Sorry.
Let me get my stuff.
Get your rust
Yeah,
off.
get your stuff
Look,
up.
rusty.
Gave him 2 weeks off, and he don't know how to act.
Yeah, you would think he had that perfectly memorized.
I thought I did, so I started saying the
Happy
old
New
stuff.
Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. This has been another episode of Turn the Game, the podcast. To watch or listen to this episode or any that you missed, log on to turnthegame.com or your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for enjoying the show. Please like and subscribe on our official YouTube. It's Turn on the Game. Our official Twitter is at @turn_on_the_game. Follow us on Instagram at Turn on the Game. And you can also email us at turnonthegame4@gmail.com. If you want to donate to the cause, it's Cash App, $, Turn on the Game.
Turn
Turn
on.
on.